for Toffoli. Here comes Tyler Toffoli again. Drago through the lane. Back in. Scores! Oh, baby, what a goal! Did you see that move? Tyler Toffoli, second of the...
And after 22 years, Raymond Moore! And then Ronaldo! What a goal by Cristiano Ronaldo! Sensational!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sports Junkies podcast. That's Franco. My name is Joey. We did it, ladies and gentlemen.
We broke the curse.
But they broke the curse, the Canadiens, with the reverse retro jerseys and an overtime win. Nobody beats the Canadiens 10 times in a row in overtime. Nobody. That's what happened tonight. We played against the Vancouver Canucks. We are talking to you on the 20th of March here, Saturday Night Hockey. Frank, what did you think of this one?
No, I'm happy finally we got a fucking win in overtime and shootout. Like, it's about time. Like, it was so sad. Like, you know, like I felt like every time we would, like, the last minute and it was tied, the teams would do it on purpose just to, like, okay, let's bring it to overtime because we know they
just
suck.
To get in.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not gonna say I called it tonight, but I did tell you.
Yeah,
I don't care what's happening. We're winning the game tonight. I don't.
You said overtime, but like, okay, whatever. We want to shoot out. Same thing
shootout.
there.
There's no chance we don't win tonight.
But this game, in my opinion, shouldn't have went in overtime.
No, absolutely not. I mean, Dom Duchamp said the same thing.
Yeah.
In his press conference, in his press.
Yeah, he was kind of pissed off. He was like, "Fuck, this game should have not went." Like, he said it in a nicer way there. He said it in a nicer way, but like he meant to say like this game should have went in fucking overtime. It was bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, twice. Go.
Yeah, twice we gave up the lead. 2 goals in, I don't know, 0 seconds, pretty much.
It's twice that we start the period off a little sleeping. You know, we're sleeping. We're like, oh, what's happening?
But
guys?
You know what? It's not even for me. It wasn't even the fact that we were sleeping. It's literally just 2 mistakes, right?
You can have those mistakes in the beginning. No, those
first. Man. We always used to say first and last 5 are the most important. But Suzuki's mistake at the beginning of the second, we weren't playing bad. Like no. The structure was there, the intensity was there, the execution was even there. I mean, we were executing on plays. Holtby was playing well, and then Suzuki just cops off a puck, comes out in front. Who scores that goal? Horvat? I don't know. Someone scores that. Yeah, JT Miller puts it in front. I don't know who scores. Besser? Horvat?
Virtanen.
I forget it wasn't Virtanen. That's it, because he took the penalty last game. That's why he kind of redeemed himself, I guess. But yeah, so that one there, and then the third period, obviously 2 goals in 32 seconds. I never want to see something like that.
No, we're even lucky that we're playing against a team like Vancouver. If it was like a Winnipeg, that would have probably killed us because when they play heavy. They would have probably worn us out, and it would have been tough to come back. Like against a team like Vancouver, Ottawa, Calgary, you know what? There's a chance for us to come back if we let in 2 fast goals, but like playing against Edmonton, you're playing against like Toronto, you can't allow them to get 2 goals in like a minute. That's tough. Yeah.
To be fair, I think Edmonton we might still have a shot. I still don't like their defense, but they do have the 2 best players in the world. I mean, what do you want to do? Yeah, I mean, like I said, actually, I texted you this during the game. I said, if we're gonna lose tonight, we're literally, 58 minutes and 30 seconds where we have domination, and then there's literally 90 seconds of the game, 90 seconds, and you just give away the game, So
4 or 5 minutes where the Canadiens just shut off, do a bad mistake, give away, and then the other team capitalizes. That's literally what happened today. Yeah, they took 14 shots.
Yeah, every
18
single
shots.
Every single opportunity was in the back of the net. And it's not to say that they were bad goals, like in terms of price or anything like that, goaltending wise. I mean, none of the goals tonight one
was a deflection.
Yeah, Horvat's was a deflection. JT Miller in front for Virtanen. He's not even. There shouldn't even be a play there. Besser low glove one-timer on the power play.
What a ripper!
I mean,
and then Tyler Mott. Sorry,
Tyler Mott.
We let him walk in. Literally, he had like 10 seconds to pick it, like the corner.
If any of them,
that one.
Yeah. If any of them, and even then, you're literally talking about a guy walking right into the slot with God knows how much time. That's kind of like that goal that what's his name scored in Calgary when they just didn't even go on him at all.
Monahan, maybe.
No, it was from the point.
Or
It was a defenseman. Just clapped it, like posted in. I forget. Anyway, it was a couple of weeks ago. But aside from that, we've had, in my opinion, a pretty decent March. We've had a decent month of March. If you look at the schedule,
disgusting.
I mean, it was a sloppy month for the most part, but in terms of points and getting points percentage out of it,
yeah, we got
it's not horrible. We have a win against Ottawa, OT against Winnipeg, win against Winnipeg 7-1, OT loss in Vancouver, win in Vancouver, 2 regulation losses in Calgary, a win against Winnipeg, an OT loss against Winnipeg, an OT loss against Vancouver, and an OT win against Vancouver. So really, the only 2 regulation losses come from the 2 games against Calgary, which in my opinion are probably the 2 worst games we played all season. And I don't even think that's really a question. I mean,
we look terrible. We look slow and slow.
The one on the back end of the back-to-back. We already talked about that one last week. That's fine. They were just kind of tired. And that's, I know you're an NHL athlete and this now whatever, but people have to understand you're playing 2 games in 16 hours.
This season is tougher, man. It's tougher.
And you're coming on 5 games in 7 days. It's a little bit difficult to try to get all that shit together. The game on the Saturday, that's really no excuse. They just came out flat and got dominated by a team that changed their coach and kind of changed up the way they're being intense on the puck and always first man in. And yeah, I mean, I personally think the reason Vancouver is not a better team than maybe we thought they might be this year. One, obviously injuries. I mean, Elias Pettersson being out is not
the best player,
the easiest thing in the world. But I just don't like the way they play. When you talk about sending 2 guys into the zone, and then even their third man is not high. He's not a high guy at all. He's pretty low into the zone too to pick up any of the loose pucks or whatever. But if you're playing against NHL defensemen, they're not bad at moving the puck. Every single one of them could move the puck to some extent. We're not talking about Xavier Ouellet. We're talking about Jeff Petrie. We're talking about Shea Weber, who's been in the league for 10, 15 years, whatever it is. You're talking about Romanov. Sorry, if we're gonna correct that. You're talking about Kulak, guys that can move the puck. As soon as your first 2 guys get beat, it's over. You're getting beat up ice. And we had a lot of chances off the rush, but that turned into in zone play, if that makes sense. So we didn't necessarily get our goals off the rush today. They were really all
we had time to set up
that Ducharme system of breaking down the other team, getting a change, cycling the puck, getting the puck when they're tired, then they score. That was the game that we played today. And I think Vancouver's forecheck doesn't match that system. I don't think it sets you up for success against that type of system, especially when you have guys that can somewhat still move the puck. It's not like you're playing against a defense that's, like I said, a bunch of AHL defensemen. If that was the case, then
the high pressure works.
The high pressure works in that situation, but against guys that are at least somewhat decent, and you're talking about a guy who's top 2 right now or top 3 in Norris voting.
He's up there.
I mean, you can't do that on those types of guys because they'll beat you, they'll burn you. That's how it is. That's how it works. So in my opinion, really.
But the other side is that when they get the pressure, they have this pinned in and they have that extra guy to put support on.
Sure, so but I understand. How many times today were you really, really worried about us getting hemmed in?
No, not really. Not really. The Canadians, like against any team, have they manage well in their own zone and they take the puck out. Obviously, there's incidents where it's like, what the fuck are they doing? But or else most of the time,
that's every team.
Yeah, that's every team. Every team has those moments, but also the Canadians handle themselves pretty good. I like the way they break. So
yeah, they've been okay in their own zone. I don't think they've been as good as maybe they have been in the past. Like I had mentioned, I think it was last week that in the past our defensive zone was like the only thing we had going for us. Versus now, we can kind of not that we can run and gun with teams because I still don't think we can run and gun.
No, we can't do that
with like a really highly talented team.
I think that's where people got mistaken. Because the beginning of the season,
year, you mean? Yeah,
we fucking were gunning it against any team.
Yeah,
we're destroying teams at the beginning of the season. We're scoring 5-6 goals,
Yeah, it was 5.5 goals a game.
You know, and I think everyone had that expectation. Oh, okay, this is the team. You know, we went like 10, 12 games like this. We're like, oh, okay, this is the team we have. This is what. So everyone expected every game the Canadiens scored four goals. You know, four goals. But that's not how the Canadiens.
No, it's just not sustainable at all with any team in the NHL.
Yeah.
First of all, you have other teams playing against you, so they will game plan against whatever you're doing. So even if the team's not great, you know, Ottawa, for example, they're still going to game plan for your best effort, because after they've seen you for 10 games, they know the type of team you're going to be. That's kind of, I think, where we run into trouble with Claude Julien, was maybe he just wasn't as quick to make the adjustments and whatever, and so he got stuck in kind of playing the way he wanted to play. And then other teams would just be like, well, if you're not going to change the way you play, fuck that, we're going to dominate you, kind of thing, you know? And so I think Deschamps done a pretty good job. I've seen that we've done a ton of different line combinations.
Yeah, it's a lot of changes.
I tweeted out tonight, I think on my personal, or no, maybe it was on ours. I said 19, 24, and 11.
Oh yes.
Is literally the best insurance policy in the world, because, you know, whenever something is, you know, going off or something's not on for a game, you just put them together, and you know, those guys have been playing together for 2+ years. We talked about it on the show already.
Yeah.
That's just something that they end up knowing where they are on the ice, and so
they played excellent today. Like, they were the line. They carried the team today. They got the win for us, literally. The whole line.
But I think every line played very well today.
Yeah.
I can't really point out a single player tonight
that played bad.
That played bad.
No one. I don't think anybody had a bad game.
I don't think anybody had a bad game today. I think there were some plays. I mean, as much as we love Edmondson and we say he's a great trade and whatever, he couple of collapses in his own zone today. But I mean, other than that, I mean, he scored a goal, which doesn't happen all the time for defensemen. So you kind of make up for those errors, right? But other than that, I thought Weber was a lot better than he's been today.
Yeah, finally for once, man. He like the past week, 2 weeks, man. He just
it's a cycle, man. That's happened since since we got him, but you know, as he's getting older, that's the cycle. He'll play solid hockey for 10 games. He'll have 3 games where it's just disgusting. You don't even want to see him on the ice. Then he'll have 2 games where it's like, okay, well, it's whatever. And then he'll have his 10 solid games again. The guy, that's just how it is.
But I just feel like it's
he'll
more,
have 10
more
solid
bad.
games. He'll have 10 solid games and then just 5 that you don't want to see him on the ice 25 minutes.
I just feel like it's more bad now than like we're seeing.
Yeah, of course, because he's older. I mean, it's just normal. It's going to happen. The guy's played through injuries. He's played 1,000+ games.
I know.
He's played the Olympics.
He's old, man.
He's playing the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Especially if the league is going in a direction of like speed and skating.
I understand.
Man. He's got to go.
Yeah, but if we're gonna be honest, tonight he did not get beat on.
No, he didn't. He didn't
on skating. No. On skating, and there were sometimes I'm like, oh boy, this might be tough for him when the puck goes behind him and there's a guy right on him. Pivot, he went. There was no problem tonight.
But there's some games
I think in a couple games in the past, I think that's where I
couldn't even.
And so I think it's also like a confidence thing, kind of the same thing with Nick Suzuki. I kind of want to get to him as well, but I think it's a confidence thing where if you're able to move that puck out, if you're able to go back and get it a few times, you know, at the beginning of the game especially, and everybody's moving well, and you're getting your first pass done, and you're, you know, then you know that you're in the game, and you know that you're there for the whole game, because a guy like that is. I mean, no matter what you say about Weber, whether he's getting old or whatever, I mean, the guy's been around so long.
Yeah, he's a good player. It's just like it's
for
a
reason.
Sad.
You know, he knows how to play the game. He knows how to kind of pace himself to the end. He knows that there's 60 minutes to play and not 24, which is kind of almost the way Romanov started the season, where it's like he was just all out attack for 27 minutes, and then the other, you know, the other 23, it was just like, what is going on here?
He's playing good though. He's like I don't expect him to be like Calder candidate or something like that. I didn't expect anything from that, but like just play your game, play solid, be in the lineup every single game. Just play your game, and that's it. That's what he does. He, you know, lines guys up. He throws hits like.
I mean, yeah, that's
monster, man.
Let me see if I can.
He's not big too, huh? He's not an overly
massive individual. I mean they call Weber Man Mountain. I mean, this guy's not a man mountain, Romanov.
He's 5'11".
I'm gonna make that mistake. I'm gonna make that mistake for the rest of my life.
I call him Romanov.
Yeah, I know, but apparently Romanov is the correct pronunciation. So they have, for some reason, They have the. Oh, I think it's because it's in French. Let's put this site in English so I can get the proper the way we kind of do things. He's 183. He's listed 6 feet 208. He's not a small guy. At 6 feet 208, he's definitely not a small individual.
He's heavy,
but he's not the biggest. You know, I thought Mete had a great game. Now that we're talking about Romanov, his pair, you know,
he looked good.
I've been telling you this. I've been telling you this whole week. Ouellet cannot play in the NHL. He's not an NHL defenseman. As much as he might be a great guy. I'm pretty sure his wife was on Hockey Wives. I'm pretty sure they had the whole story and whatever. It was great. I love the guy. He's a great guy. He's a captain. He's got to go to Laval, put his C on, teach those guys how to speak French so that when they come to Montreal, they're okay. That's Ouellet's role right now. It's not to be playing 18 minutes a night. It's not for him. Unfortunately, it happens to a lot of people. He's just too slow. It happened to Cole Osner. He played 600, 700. I don't even know how many games he played in the NHL, and he fell off a cliff. Ouellet wasn't even at that point, and he fell off a cliff. So it's professional hockey. That's how it works. If you can't keep up, unfortunately, you should not be in the lineup.
Yeah.
And I think and he should play to his strengths in that go be a veteran for the guys that are coming up in the American Hockey League. Sure, you don't make the salary you make in the NHL.
No.
But at the very least, you can captain that team. Maybe you win a Calder. Maybe you win a Calder Cup. You know, who knows? But I just don't think that he's fit to be in the NHL right now.
Yeah, is there like 6 defensemen? No.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, while we're talking about big hits and AHL, we retweeted something. We retweeted something today. A guy that we've been talking about for the past, I don't know, 2 weeks. I mean, ever since Sherrod got hurt, really, we've been talking about him.
Well, even at the beginning of the season, I wanted him in the lineup.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him play more.
I like to have like 3 lefties and 3 righties. You know.
Yeah, for those of you who are not paying attention, it's Cale Fleury. We're talking about Cale Fleury, who's now playing in Laval. Let me share my screen so I can show everybody what we're talking about here. Look at this hit. This is Cale Fleury. And just this guy thinks he's gonna put his shoulder down, and
he runs him over. Yeah,
I don't wanna show too much because I'm afraid we're gonna get copyrighted again like we did last time because I know they're starting to.
They didn't take it down.
No, they didn't take down. They just weren't allowed to monetize. Not that we have enough views to monetize, but I don't want to get slapped with copyrights for no reason. So yeah, I'd love to see Fleury and Romanov on the same line.
Yeah, that would be nice. I think Fleury, and I think he plays Laval the whole year. They only play 28 games.
Yeah, I mean they have a shortened schedule as well.
They're almost done.
I didn't know it was only 28.
Yeah, 20. When I found that, I was like 28 games. Like, sheesh.
Well, they are gonna have playoffs as well.
Yeah, they're making the playoffs. I think Laval's gonna finish first.
So
they have a good team. They have a good team this year.
Well, there's a reason. It's because we have guys. We have guys that are coming up.
We went and pick up a lot of guys. Like
in what sense?
Like there's a lot of new faces that are producing.
Oh, okay. I'm like that are veterans. You're saying, or that are
young
that are in our system. Yeah, they're in our system.
Young,
yeah, of course.
Like what's his name? Jesse
Yolanen.
Yolanen.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to check the pronunciation.
But he's actually he came from Europe. He was supposed to come. He was supposed to play with Laval last season, but he decided to stay in Europe. And now this season he came over, and he's up there in the points for the Rockets. There's even Harvey Pinard, the French guy that we picked in the 7th round, and he's just like
lighting it up.
Scoring. He hasn't come out of the lineup, so he's doing good. Palin's on fire. Like surprise.
That's what you want to see from Paling. Again,
Palin's doing good.
Yeah, Paling's a guy that I think we also spoke about it on the podcast before. If he becomes a 3rd-line center, I'm more than okay with it.
He's good. He has the size. He could skate. He could score.
And he'll have. I mean, the guy scored 4 goals in his
debut. First game.
like what?
Yeah,
they thought he was going to be Austin Matthews.
Well, literally the next season, everyone was like, "Oh my God, this guy's going to score 50 goals this season."
No,
that year
player he is.
That year in my fantasy draft, I picked him. I picked him in my fantasy draft
just for fun.
just because I'm like, you know what, my last pick, I'm picking Ryan Poehling. Picked him, I dropped him after a week. I'm like, fuck that, he's out of here. I was like, no way. No, but it's good to see. Good to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's guys that we're drafting, that we're developing, that Joel Bouchard is doing a good job with, and at the same time, you want to breed a winning attitude in an organization and throughout the whole organization. So, I think it's very, very underrated in that sense. When Detroit was really good at Mike Babcock's height, it was because they had Jeff Blashill in the minors. And if you've ever heard Jeff Blashill speak, he sounds exactly like Mike Babcock, or exactly how he used to speak, because that's how.
So that when they come up, they're used to
the same system, they have the same ideas, and everybody's being developed in the same sense, and they get an idea of how it is to be a pro and how it actually is to be kind of, taking one step at a time every single season, always trying to be better every season. Doesn't mean you're going to make the NHL. Doesn't mean you're going to be a 27-minute guy in the NHL. 27 minutes is exaggerated, but you know what I mean. It doesn't mean you're going to be a 20-minute guy in the NHL.
Yeah.
But if you're going to progress, if you're Ryan Poehling, and if at some point you become a 14-minute guy in the NHL, I'm more than happy with that kind of result from a guy that we drafted, kind of in the middle of the first round, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember what his pick was. Poehling. Where did we pick him?
First round.
Yeah, but I'm saying in the middle of the first round.
Yeah, like 25th, I think, in the 20s.
Really, that low?
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, for a late first round pick, if you're becoming that, I'm kind of okay with it. Yeah. Like I said, like we had talked about also last week, anything past the first round, I think it was 2 weeks ago. No, we were talking about last week because we want to redraft, right? We want to do the redraft. But anything past the first round, you're dropping significantly in terms of
your percentage.
NHL. So,
I even say after 15, after like 10, even 10.
Yeah, listen, your top, usually, I feel like out of your top 10, 8 of them usually make the NHL. It's usually like an 80% kind of thing. They make the NHL. Doesn't mean that they're stars, right? Doesn't mean that they're, and then maybe 10 to 20 is something like 50%, 60%. And then after 20, you're looking at 50% or lower.
Well, usually first round picks, they get the opportunity.
At some point they'll get into games.
Yeah. They'll get the opportunity to make the team or not, and then it's up to them. But second, third, after that, it's like you have to prove it.
I believe the stat is after the second round, people from the third round and onward literally have the same amount of percentage to get into the NHL. And if anything, it's like a 2% difference between third round and seventh round, which tells you how much development plays a role when you're picking guys that are that late. So you're picking guys with tools that are coachable, that are able, that you can develop into players. Third round and on, I'm pretty sure Gallagher was a third round pick as well.
Fifth
round pick.
Yeah.
Even lower than third. But that's kind of guys you look for in those rounds. Jake Evans, coachable,
seventh,
very, very solid player. I mean, if you go all the way back to the all-time 7th and 8th and 9th round picks, is Zetterberg, and there's something there. It's because they're able to, they have some skills, but they're not, oh my god.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're hoping that they develop into something because they're coachable or because they have that little extra thing that other people don't have, and that's what you're looking for. Kind of diamonds in the rough, third round and onward. Speaking about a guy who did not go in the third round and onward, he was I believe a third overall pick in Jonathan Drouin.
Yeah, third.
I believe it was third overall pick. I know you're not the biggest fan of him, but I think you appreciated his game tonight because
today he played good. Today is the Drouin that I want. Someone that gets the puck and he literally attacks the defender because he has the skill, he has the hands to go around the guy. And today in overtime, Holtby made an. I was
gonna say if Holtby doesn't make that literally
that was a highlight reel goal
save. I mean,
that was
that's contender for goal of the year probably.
That, but that's what I wanted. That's the first time in a while that I see Drouin actually, not scared, take the puck and drive the net.
Yeah, and again, I think that comes with confidence. I think he lacked a little bit of that under Julien because I also think the coaching system that we had for the past couple of years was very, okay, just do what you need to do in your own end, and then when you get a chance, go do your thing, Whereas here, I think Ducharme, first of all, the fact that they know each other is a massive plus. I know Ducharme was on the team before he was an assistant coach. He was still, involved. But you can't listen to the assistant coach that says go do one thing versus the head coach telling you this is how you play, right? So now that the system is maybe more in his favor, he feels a lot more confident in what he can do. He knows that he's not going to get ripped into, if he makes a mistake, which a lot of times in the past, he would make a mistake, have his head down, go to the bench.
Yeah.
Whereas now it makes a mistake, I find this season anyway.
There's a little bit more.
There's a little bit more effort to turn around and just put your head down and skate back instead of skating towards the bench and getting off the ice because you made a mistake.
It's good. I don't want to kill him every time he touches the puck anymore,
Yeah, I mean, now...
I'm happy with his season.
Yeah, I'd like to see him shoot the puck a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, today he actually shot a little bit more.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a shot. That's what I think that's why he
it's not elite, but I mean the guy can shoot the puck. He's in the NHL. I mean,
yeah, but let's say he takes 10 shots, maybe 3 of them are gonna go in, maybe.
Yeah, no, I mean, but then you're talking about shooting percentage, which is actually something that we could have come back to in terms of why people thought we were going to be so good at the beginning of the year. Because we were shooting at 40%.
Yeah,
shots were going in. It's not sustainable for any team. Between 10 and 15% is pretty reasonable, and 15% is pretty freaking high for the most part. If you're going to score 15% of the shots you're taking, so people didn't understand that, and I think with Drouin, you have to shoot to get your 10 shots so that 1 in 10 go in. So you got to have those 10 shots so that 1 go in. One goes
I don't know.
In,
maybe he doesn't believe in his shooting.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is that, and I think recently I saw a couple of clips with him after practice, trying out new sticks and just having 50 pucks in front of the net and just ripping shots. Which, as much as you say, oh well, you can't become a sniper. That's not what you're asking for. You're just asking for him to be a little bit more proactive with his shot choices, let's say. Versus now he's choosing always to pass the puck. Yeah,
I find sometimes he looks a lot.
I mean, today there was a time that he literally surprised Anderson with a pass. Anderson gave him the pass, he gave it right back to him, and Anderson was like, "Why is this puck back on my stick?" Should be at the net.
There was one play where he got it. I was like,
Anderson tripped over himself. Yeah, exactly.
I was like, oh. Give it back. Yeah, this season is shooting percentage is not the best. 3.8.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
52 shots.
Yeah, but that's what it is. I mean, if you only have a certain amount of shots, you only score a certain amount of times. Yeah. But the guy's got 19 assists in 31 games. It's not,
I don't know.
It's not.
Look, if he could finish the year with, I'm hoping with 10 goals and get 20 something assists, I say it's a good season. I think he can easily push to 30 assists, 35 assists. Yeah. Because you think about it, there's about 25 games left. Yeah. And he only needs about 15 assists to get to 35. So I don't think it's really a task, like a monumental task. I think it's easy for him. I think the goals is what kind of we're lacking. But you think about it, if he starts to score goals, I'm fine. If him and Daniel start, we're fine.
But Daniel doesn't even have to score goals at that point. Then you don't need Daniel to score goals, because then you have Toffoli scoring goals. You have Jeff Petrie with 11 goals, and maybe 25 posts that he's hit this year, because this guy could have scored at least another 5 goals this year, minimum. So Jeff Petrie scoring 11 goals. Nick Suzuki's at 7. Right? Thomas Tatar with tonight's performance is at 6. Gallagher's the quietest 12 goals you'll ever see in your life. Yeah. The quietest 12 goals. Anderson's already at 11. So you have all these guys scoring, plus you add another 8 goals for Drouin. I'll take it. I mean, this team is a team that can produce offense, which is something we're give me offense for the past 10 years. And so now you have the ability to maybe do it. And it is what it is. I mean, if he can start scoring, that'd be phenomenal. And if KK can start scoring a little bit more too, it'd be great. But KK's just, I think he's just all around, he's just getting to be a better player. I think that's just what it is with him.
I feel like people tend to forget how old he is too.
Yeah, I mean, he's 20 years old. I mean, he's 3 years younger than us.
I think people put a lot of pressure on him because he came in the league right away, right? His draft year was in the lineup, right?
Pretty decent, and he wasn't bad in his
people tend to have a I don't know how to say it, but
they have an expectation of him.
They feel he's been in the league. No, they feel like he's been in the league for a while.
Yeah,
but technically he hasn't. He's played 3 seasons.
And I'm sure it's also because they see guys like Brady Tkachuk, who got drafted 1 pick after him, that are in the NHL, and they're like, oh, this guy's getting 85 points or whatever,
Like,
and
he has 146 games under his belt. Just give him time, man. Give him time.
Yeah, I mean, he has more games played than Nick Suzuki does, and Nick Suzuki's a year older.
Well, and Nick Suzuki, he didn't play right away.
Nick Suzuki's 101 games.
Yeah.
I
think
still
we
think
just have to be patient.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be patient with both guys, I think.
They get ripped so hard for being like young. We're young down the middle, but that's fine. I'd rather be young than have like an Eric Stahl down the middle. Like, oh yeah, let's go.
Man, Buffalo is just fucking.
No, but that's what they're talking. That's like here like TVA Spot and like RDS. They're like, oh, the Canadiens. We're too young down the middle. We're too young. We're never gonna win. We're never gonna win. You know.
I'm like, but in 2 years, they're never gonna win. You don't have the same conversation in 2 years. In 2 years,
I understand.
Wow, look how good our top two centers
are. If they don't learn now, if you keep going and get old guys to play in front of them, these kids are never going to learn how to win. They're never going to learn from their mistakes. And then when they get to the ages where they have to take over, they're going to have to learn what they were supposed to learn when they were young.
Yeah.
So this pisses me off when I hear like Eric Stahl, we want him in Montreal. Yeah, let's go get him. No, I don't want him.
Great,
he's old and he's slow.
But he's not a guy that can play in front of them.
No,
and also, I was listening to 31 Thoughts today with Jeff Marek and Elliot Friedman, and Friedman was saying, I don't think Eric Stahl's a guy that can come to Canada. Period.
He doesn't want though.
Because no, not only that, you look at the guys that I forget who it was that just came, Pierre-Luc Dubois that got traded.
Yeah,
had to go through a quarantine.
Yeah, and he look how
slow it was. But look how slow it was.
Yeah, I understand, but
no, I'm saying look how slow it was for him to start being like competitive, and the guy's like 21.
He's our age.
He's 23.
He's 23.
Yeah, so he's 23.
And the guy's 36 years old.
And it took him like 8 games to get started.
Hello, a 36 years old. The guy's out for 4 months.
Exactly. You're gonna keep Eric Stahl on a quarantine for 2 weeks. The guy's coming back. He's gonna retire. Like in the first 5 games he plays.
His bones are gonna rust.
Not somebody.
His bones are gonna rust. It's over.
That's definitely not somebody you want coming over, especially with a 2-week quarantine.
Wow, these guys, they make me laugh, man. Let's go get Eric Stahl. Let's go get this. Yeah, it's easy.
There's actually a thing that I always wanted that I always think about, but I never speak about it to a lot of people. It's something like when you trade for a player, you think about the player that he was, and also the player that he is. Like, you think about most of the time when I'm talking about like trade deadline deals. Okay. I'm not talking about like a Dubois deal. Okay. Like a Dubois deal is a hockey trade, and the guy's 23. He's got time to be like amazing.
Yeah.
And he already is amazing. If we're gonna be honest, he's already an amazing player, and so is Patrick Laine. But with a guy that's older, let's say an Ekholm, right?
Yeah.
Now he's probably the number one person on everyone's trade board right now.
Mm-hmm.
You think about Ekholm. Okay, I think of him as this kind of guy right now. We always think, but it's never the same when you bring him to another team. It's very rare that a player is going to be exactly the same player he is in another situation.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Who was the guy that just retired from the NHL because he got traded? It was Patrick Berglund.
No, it was Mikko Koivu.
Yeah, Mikko Koivu too. But
he signed with Columbus and he played like 9 games and he's like, come out of here.
And that's it. It's done. And I don't even think that had to do with the coach. I think that was
I think he just couldn't do it. He couldn't do it.
It's not the same situation. You don't have the same comfort. You don't have the same chemistry. You don't have the same situation you're in. You're not playing the same minutes. And you're just like, what's going on? And again, Patrick Berglund is another guy. This was maybe 4 years ago, I believe. Maybe more. Got dealt from St. Louis to Buffalo. And he was so comfortable in St. Louis, he didn't even report to Buffalo.
Yeah, he's like, fuck that, I'm out of here.
And Buffalo gave up I think it was in the Ryan O'Reilly deal. It might have been the Ryan O'Reilly deal.
No. I don't think.
What did they trade for him? I don't remember. Let me go check just to make sure. We can cut this out if we need it, but I'm pretty sure Ryan O'Reilly trade. Let me see if I'm correct here. If I'm correct, might be the best. Yeah, it is. That's what it was. Yeah? It was the Ryan O'Reilly trade. They got Vladimir Savodka, Tage Thompson, Patrick Berglund, a first and a second for Ryan O'Reilly. And trust me, Buffalo was under the impression that Patrick Berglund was going to be like a number 2, number 3 center. Like a in between guy who can play a lot of roles and whatever.
Because the guy didn't show up. They were going to draft Eichel, so they didn't need him.
That's it. Like, I'm done. Like he stopped playing. He went back to Europe.
That's sad.
So it's sad for him. It's sad for the player, but it's also like, we're thinking about, the Habs would be great if they went to get Ekholm. But who knows if Ekholm comes here and he's that same player. You know what I mean? New Jersey and Subban, same thing.
Yeah.
Puts up an almost Norris season in Nashville. The next season plays okay, not great. Gets traded. You still think he's PK Subban, and then comes to New Jersey and he's just like not the same player.
No, the environment,
not the same situation,
tough.
Different environment, new injuries, new minutes, new team. It's just you're trading for what you're literally what you're doing is you're taking like a Lego block and you think the same Lego block is going to be moved like this and just put into the same other piece. That's not how it works a lot of times because they're human beings. So you gotta take that into consideration. So that's why I'm always hesitant to say, let's go after this guy. Taylor Hall, it's another guy.
Yeah.
Go after this guy, go after this guy, go after this guy. I was on the Hall train 100% for the Habs.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe he plays better. Maybe he plays better with the Canadiens.
Yeah, I think
because he's got maybe a bit more support. He's got a bit better team. It's just a better atmosphere to play in Montreal. It's like the mecca of hockey, so you're maybe a little bit more energetic, and it's a Canadian market and whatever.
Well, but he won the Hart Ross.
We literally could have had an 8 million. He could have had the Hart Trophy, not the Hart Ross. MVP.
Yeah.
He didn't win the Hart Ross that year. He didn't win most points.
No, he won MVP.
Maybe he did actually. He won the Hart Trophy MVP. But you said Hart Ross. I wasn't sure if he also won the Hart Ross.
The Hart. Sorry, the Hart.
But anyway, now they're talking about a guy. They have a guy with an $8 million contract. I mean, it's only for a year, so it's fine. But you think about if Buffalo signs him for 5 years at $8 million.
Yeah, but
you're talking about a guy you have.
Yeah.
I know, but you're talking about a guy that you now have for $8 million who's producing 1 goal in like 6 games.
But apparently he had the chance to. He had the option to go to somewhere else. Like let's say a better team, less money, better team, less money. But he said no. He said,
I think the situation was he wanted less term because he knew that this year was going to be like the year that he wanted to show off that whatever.
And listen, man. What do you think he's gonna ask? What do you think he's gonna ask for now?
Well, now who the fuck knows? But really, the thing was in his situation, that's the best scenario for him because he gets to play with Jack Eichel, who in my opinion is a top 10 center in the league.
Yeah, but he's been hurt.
But that's what I'm saying. He got unlucky. Yeah, but that's why he went there. And then you're just like, what's going on? So again, just thinking about going with players that are you're trading for them or you're going free agents even. You think about the player that they are, taking them out and trying to plug them in, and you're not 100% sure. Which is what's so crazy to me with all the deals that happened right now with over this past offseason and the season before with Bergevin. I mean, he's made all these moves.
But we're like, you don't know if they're gonna work out.
Exactly, and somehow.
But luckily,
it looks good.
They all worked out.
Every single player that he signed, that he's traded for, has been pretty freaking stellar for us so far.
Yeah.
So I can't really complain. The last thing I want to talk about, because we're going to probably run out of time and my computer battery is going to die. So let me just make sure that we get to this before the end of the podcast. Nick Suzuki, I was talking about confidence before. We were talking about how he was developing. He scores the exact same goal that he scored last night.
It's like 3 times now he scores like this.
Yeah. And really, as soon as he scored that goal, I'm like, man, remember when Kovalev used to score from that spot on the power play?
Yeah.
That's literally
he come off and just snipe it.
He's a righty. He's coming off his good wing instead of his off wing. Kovalev is off of his off wing.
That's hard. I don't know how he used to do that.
That guy is just unbelievable, man. I saw a highlight reel of his top 10 goals. I was just like, I don't even understand, bro. Like, this guy's just ridiculous. He was unreal. He's an unreal player. I think that eventually he probably should be in the Hall of Fame. I just think he's that good.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know if he ever will be in the Hall of Fame.
Hopefully.
But he's got a cup with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he has over 1,000 points as well. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Alex Kovalev has over 1,000 points. Yeah, it definitely has over 1,000 games. I'm just not sure if he has over 1,000 points. I believe he does. Yeah, he's got 1,029 points.
Yeah,
in 1,300 games, and he's got a cup.
I think he gets.
And he's just a fucking machine. remember that goddamn DVD that came out. I was just amazed with every drill that was there. But anyway, get back to the point. Nick Suzuki, guy was unreal with that shot. Same shot as yesterday. My question to you is, was yesterday's goal kind of just a reminder, like, hey, you're good enough to play in the NHL?
Like the one that he scored the buzzer beater.
The one that he scored yesterday. Because today he was a completely different player.
Today he looked like he looked.
I think he looked very good, except for the 2 or 3 turnovers that he made. Which again, he's 21.
I don't know.
I thought he looked infinitely better today.
Lately, I've been
in the past
seeing
5 games.
I don't know, but lately I've been seeing like his defensive game. I don't know, but he just looks a step behind. He either looks a step behind, or he looks very lazy. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's another guy that. But I think a lot of people get that mistake, like the laziness.
I just want to grab him
with effortlessness. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
I understand
in the defensive zone, like, come on, just be a little bit more like.
Okay, but think about it.
I see him a lot diving. One hand. You know how many times he's lost his stick? How many times did he lose his stick? One hand. He's one hand with his stick. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, how soft was Anderson's play yesterday? I mean,
I understand that, but like
Anderson's 26. He's got no excuse. He's not young.
I know, but
listen, we were overly surprised with how good he was early in the season defensively.
Yeah.
He's Patrice Bergeron incarnated and all that stuff.
I still think he could be that.
I still think he is that. I really do think he is that. It's just a matter of putting things together.
Yeah.
Getting the consistency in, always being
confidence
in the right spot.
too, you know.
Yeah, and I honestly, I'm not. It's Nick Suzuki. I'm not worried about. I'm really not worried about. Honestly speaking, if I'm being 100% honest, I'm not worried about Nick Suzuki, and I'm not worried about Jesperi Kotkaniemi. I'm really not worried, because those are 2 guys that I see playing, and I'm like, these guys are going to be good for a while. They have that. It's not like Galchenyuk in the sense that there's some games where it's just like, what? And then there's some games where it's like the guy's got he's a 30
he scored 30 goals that year. Remember when he scored 30 goals for us?
Do you understand what I'm saying? But his game was a lot different than these guys, in my opinion. First of all, they're centermen. So the fact that they're centermen and they're playing in the league with 16, 17, 18 minutes a night, just that alone should tell you that they're already more responsible defensively. They're already more consistent in terms of their effort, in terms of the way they're trying to play. They're trying to play the game than Galchenyuk was. Galchenyuk was a streaky player. He's a winger, streaky player, scores 3 goals in 3 games, 4 goals in 3 games, and then he'll be silent for 5 games.
Yeah, for 5-10 games, and then come out of nowhere and then bing, bing, bing.
But as a centerman, you have to be involved in every single play. Doesn't mean you have to have points every night. As a winger, you can kind of be a little bit lax with being involved every single night. That's why I say to you, Drouin is a different player than Suzuki or Kotkaniemi, because he can, not that he can take nights off, but that if he's producing, he can glide. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
you get what I'm saying. I mean, the other day, Ovechkin was standing in one spot.
Yeah, but
he's a legend, but he's a winger, and he's standing in one spot.
I think he's earned the right to stand in one spot.
I understand, but do you get what I'm saying? Like, as a winger, as a centerman, can you imagine a centerman doing that?
I think I
do that.
When I used to play hockey, like sometimes let's say the game was blown out like 5-1, like 5-2, I would play center, and like sometimes just come back in the defensive zone. I would glide back, and I would like just like non-effort, and like they would have a chance to score because I was supposed to be the third man in, support the defenseman. The defenseman would lose their battle, and the third man high would get the goal or have a good chance
or the chance or whatever.
It was my fault, but like I understood like that a center can glide, and then when I used to be on the wings, like sometimes when they put me on the wings, I would glide. And then I would get those chances, those 2-on-1s, those breakouts. But it's a different style.
Because that's how a winger can play the game. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I'm saying I'm not as worried about these 2 guys, because just the way that they're playing, the way that they're developing, the way that they're always on the ice after practice. Always practicing shootouts, passing to each other. All the young guys are always on the ice. That's what I love about this team more than maybe other teams in the past, is that there's so much I feel like there's a lot better feeling around the team this year than in past years. Just in terms of like morale.
We're also younger though.
In terms of confidence and in terms of like, yeah, you say that, but then we got Weber was like 38,000 years old and Price was 37,000 years old in the back. So
but like we have the only old geezers we have are Petrie, Weber, Perry.
Petry's not a geezer.
No, but that's over 30.
33. Yeah, but we have a few players.
We have 4 or 5 guys. The rest, they're all 28, 29 or under. I like that. That's where we have guys in their prime.
I mean, I think 30 is kind of a shitty number to hold people to. Like, when you're 30, you're just
but that's because you're just
downhill,
changing, right? You're changing numbers. Like you're going from a 2 to a 3, so it just doesn't.
But it's so stupid. Like, but I'm saying a lot of people have that in their head. Like,
it's very psychological.
30, you're done. Like once you're 30, you're done.
That's
not the case. Like I just don't think that's the case. Like Petry wasn't as good as he was at 27 as he is at 33.
Imagine if he would be playing like this when we would have traded for him. Like I think we have to give up a first and a good prospect
to trade for Petry. The guy's a Norris candidate.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Good for a Norris candidate. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'll give you. What do we get him for? A third?
A second and a fifth.
A second
and a fifth.
Just ridiculous.
Crazy. Yeah.
I mean, listen, we gave up a second, which is still kind of decent.
Yeah, but
in terms of stock, Anyway, point is, I think the goal yesterday for Nick Suzuki was kind of an internal wake-up call for him, where he said to himself, I can play in the NHL.
Yeah.
He beat Thatcher Demko, who's been literally playing at a Vezina level right now. Literally talking about a Vezina level goaltender right now, and I really think he is.
He's only 24,
potentially that quality. It's a great goaltender. From the time he was playing at BC, I loved watching him. Obviously, I was a goaltender as well. So those of you who are just joining and blah 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 blah, I've carried Price and Luongo in the background. Obviously, I'm a goaltender. So Thatcher Demko to me was just unbelievable because he's 6'18". He's massive,
but he still plays like
the guy can move. He's not the quickest in the world, but he can.
But he makes up with his height. So and it's not like obnoxious to me versus like a Ben Bishop was. Yeah,
to me, Ben Bishop was not a good goaltender. He was big.
He was just big.
And he took up a lot of space. He'd make a first save, and he'd be awful on a second save. He would not control his rebounds. He would not do anything of that sort. Demko's a lot better with rebound control, a lot better with controlling his pace of the game, which is like the most underrated thing ever as a goaltender, just controlling the pace of the game. And just he's more mobile than a lot of other guys at his size anyway. So anyway, that's what impressed me about him. But Nick Suzuki beats him clean. I mean, clean, just rips one. And today, the shot was even better than the shot from yesterday.
Same one. It's same shot. Same angle.
But even better because you see that there's even... It felt like there was even less space today.
There was just room for the puck, and then it went right.
Yeah, and that was it. You had the 2-inch wide diameter, and that's it. Extra.
They should run the power play like that. Just run it through him, man.
Yeah, I mean that's... I think I mentioned this last time. That was in prep school, my last year of prep school. We had a coach who coached Division I at Mercier's for 13 years. The guy was a phenomenal head coach. That was it. That was our power play. That was it. It was literally the guy. It's an umbrella,
Yeah,
and you're talking about high school kids. So you're not talking about guys who can you have guys with decent shots, decent one-timers, but you're not talking about Ovechkin level one-timers, Weber level one-timers. Like the goalie's probably going to be able to save them. So if the one-timer wasn't there or the play on the left side wasn't there, right, we'd have a righty come on the right side, come up the boards, get the puck from the guy who was quarterbacking, and he has time to walk in because the other team was probably just playing a passive box or just trying to not do anything, and the guy would have time to walk in and take a shot. And if he didn't score clean on the shot,
there's a rebound or whatever.
There's 2 guys in front crashing, So I think that's a great way to do it, and I think our second unit as well. Really, really, really happy with the way the power play is looking right now under Burroughs and under Duchamp. So
I feel like it changed. We changed a lot.
Yeah, so I have no real complaints. Bottom line is, we broke the streak for overtime and for the
about time. Those blue jerseys.
Blue jerseys, ugly. Which honestly I love those jerseys.
Ugly. Ugly.
That's a hot take, Franco. I love those jerseys.
Ugly.
I think they're really nice.
The Canadiens are original 6 team. They don't need a third jersey. Keep it red and white. I think a third
jersey would be nice. We're not soccer.
I like 15 jerseys.
Okay, next week we're ranking. We're gonna rank the reverse retro
jerseys.
The jerseys. I think that's what we should do. Yeah,
I'm down.
Okay, let's do that, and we'll think about, I guess, whatever games come up this week. We did not talk about any other sports this week because
there's not much going on.
Really, there wasn't much going on. The F1, the Formula 1 is starting next weekend. So that's correcting myself from last weekend. I said it was starting this weekend. So it's actually next weekend in Bahrain. So we'll talk a little bit about that. PGA, nothing exciting coming up. If you want to watch the Honda Championship, which is going on right now, we have 2 Canadians in the field that are doing pretty well. Adam Hadman's been 18th, I think, and we have another Canadian, I cannot remember his name, who's in the top 10. So PGA, if that's your thing, go ahead. Tennis, nothing exciting. The guy from here, can't remember his name.
Felix Gillier.
That's it. Yeah, he was eliminated, so he's no longer in contention. And that's pretty much all I have for other sports. Yeah. So soccer, I mean, obviously UCL still going on. Milan lost to Manchester United. I don't even want to talk about it. That's why I didn't bring it up on the show.
It was unfortunate though.
But that's it. That's the other sports this week. So I think that's gonna wrap it up. Frank, you have anything else to tell the good people of the internet?
Just follow us on Twitter, I would say. Keep updated there. That's like if you want live updates.
Yeah, and I think actually what we might start doing is live tweeting the games, like the Montreal Canadiens games. I think that's kind of what we might start doing.
Yeah, I'm a little slow on that, a little new on that.
Yeah, I think it's mostly because we're so enthralled in the game.
Yeah, that I go into Twitter and it's like after the Canadiens is like 4-2. Like, oh shit, I gotta tweet about 4 goals.
I gotta tweet something. Yeah. So we'll try to be better about tweeting, but on Twitter it is at @SJunkiesPod. And obviously we're going to be on YouTube as well, so the Sports Junkies podcast.
Yeah, we'll put a link. We'll put a link in the description.
Yeah,
so at least it's easier, you know.
And we'll have everything set up for you guys, all the sports action for the coming week. So thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you next weekend.
Take care, guys.
Have a good one.